Washington. Majorities of U.S. voters said President Donald Trump abused his office, fired FBI Director James Comey to disrupt his investigation into possible Russian ties, and is dishonest, according to a poll released Wednesday. The Quinnipiac University poll also said 55% of voters disapproved of Trump and opposed performance in office, compared with an approval rating of 37%. And President Donald Trump remains mired in dreadful mid-30s approval numbers, and the red flags that are popping up tell an even darker story, said Tim Malloy, assistant director of the Quinnipiac poll. But by far the most alarming determination is that President Trump is abusing his office. Almost 6 in 10 U.S. voters polled by Quinnipiac, 59%, said Trump was dishonest, while just 36% said he was honest. By 54% to 43%, they said Trump was abusing the privileges of his office. Trump, who promised to drain the swamp in Washington instead refused to divest himself of his financial holdings and broke with the 40 years of precedent and declined to release his income tax returns. His decision to turn over control of his businesses to his sons while keeping ownership does not comport with the tradition of our presidents over the past 40 years, according to the head of the Office of Government Ethics, Walter M. Schaub Jr. According to a Monmouth University poll also released Wednesday, 32% said Trump has made things worse, more than the 24% who said he was making progress toward cleaning up Washington. A plurality, 35%, said nothing had changed. 2. The investigation into possible collusion with Russia is taking its toll. A majority of voters, 55%, said Trump fired Comey to disrupt the FBI and oppose's ongoing probe into whether the campaign colluded with Russian officials. U.S. intelligence agencies have concluded that Russia intervened in the U.S. election to help Trump. Just 36% said Trump acted because he had lost confidence in Comey. Majorities also disapproved of Comey and oppose's firing, did not believe Trump and oppose's claim that Comey told him he was not under investigation, and believed that the president did ask Comey to drop his probe of former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. A special counsel, former FBI Director Robert Mueller, now is overseeing the investigation. 3. Trump and oppose's big legislative win was anything but. The president and House Republican leaders celebrated in the White House Rose Garden after voting to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act with legislation that the Congressional Budget Office said Wednesday would cover 23 million fewer Americans. The American Health Care Act also would cut Medicaid by almost $840 billion after Trump during the campaign promised not to and used the savings to cut taxes for corporations on wealthy Americans. In the Monmouth poll, twice as many Americans, 46%, said Republicans passed the bill so they could get a political win, as compared with 21% said it was a real effort to fix the health insurance system. And the oppose mission and oppose ceremony in the Rose Garden after the House passed DACA really did nothing to elevate the public and oppose's overall view of Washington, said Patrick Murray, director of the Monmouth University Polling Institute. And it fed the prevailing sense that congressional leaders are more concerned with political victories than with helping average Americans. The Republican bill, which also allowed states to seek waivers from the requirement that insurers and oppose charge more for policyholders with pre-existing conditions, was unpopular with the public. More than half, 55%, disapproved of the legislation, while 32% approved. 4. Majorities of voters still disagree with Trump on major issues. The Quinnipiac poll of 1,404 voters was conducted May 17 to 23 and had a margin of error of 3 percentage points. The Monmouth poll of 1,002 U.S. adults was conducted May 13 to 17 and had a margin of error of 3.1 percentage points. Jonathan D. Salant may be reached at @advancemedia.com. Follow him on Twitter @Salant or on Facebook. Finge.com Politics on Facebook.